Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. I am going to be discussing Tracy's question on college and jobs. I thought this discussion was fantastic. It was really interesting to watch. And I thought Charles Murray and Peter Thiel made a fantastic argument throughout the discussion, but especially when they discussed college and the relation to jobs. And I think especially Charles Murray made a great point that we have students that are at school to get a piece of paper, because without a college degree, you have employers who will not even give you an interview because you don't have a degree. And so you have this pool of people who they might be more skilled than someone who went to a 4-year college, and they are not valuable. Life experience isn't valuable. Work experience isn't valuable because they don't have a 4-year degree. And so we are literally forcing people to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and go into massive debt that if you look at an 18-year-old student, they won't be able to pay off until their 30s. Excuse me. It's a broken system for a lot of reasons. And that doesn't mean that education isn't important, especially with this very specialized maths and sciences or any kind of specialized degree. But when you think that, you look at the workforce, there's not a huge number of really specialized degrees. For me, who has a ton of experience, I help run a rescue group, and I run my son's school PTO, and I have helped my dad, who owns a pharmaceutical company, on a whole host of things. I, in the workforce, cannot apply to be a secretary at a company like my husband's, which is a fantastic company full of wonderful people, and they have amazing benefits. But I am not even an option at that company because I don't have a 4-year degree. And it doesn't matter what my personal life experience or work history or skill set is. That piece of paper is a key to a job. And a secretary doesn't make much. A secretary, can make $35,000, $40,000 more if, they're more specialized secretary for a CEO or something. But I'm just talking a very general job, and that might even be me being generous with the income. So when you think, school costs $5,000 plus if you're an in-state student at University of Whitewater, you're talking, is it worth your degree? And that's not including living expenses, that's just education expenses. Does your degree end up paying your salary? Which is why you have so many 30-year-old students, or they're not students, but 35-year-old individuals who are still working at paying off loans. I know people who are close to 30 that have been deferring loans because they just don't make that much. Everything has gone up, cost of living, food, whatever. And then you have college tuition, which has skyrocketed. Peter Thiel had commented that it's taking in to account inflation, it is 300% higher than it was, in the 90s. And what are you getting out of that degree? Is it fair to expect someone who is going to be answering phones all day to have a 4-year degree and pay thousands of dollars that they're not going to be able to pay back for years? And I think, I can't think of the last name, but his name was Henry, and he was on the you should do college side. He had mentioned that college is so important because it socializes students. And I think that's a very valid reason to go to school. I think it does socialize you in a way that you can't get from other places. When you, especially if you're going away to college, I don't know if distance learning is necessarily the same, but if you are leaving your home and going away for college, you're out of your little comfort zone bubble. You're exposed to new ideas. You're exposed to different groups of people. You kind of get to find out who you are. And that is, to me, what the essence of being in college is. For me as an adult student, I obviously don't get that same college experience, which is fine. But I think that's why it's so important for young people that are straight out of high school to attend college. It's that experience is important. But I do think we're in a broken system where if you make a choice not to get an education, a post-secondary education, I should say, that you lose out on opportunities for jobs that don't require post-secondary education. And another aspect of that is, you have to have a 4-year degree, but it really doesn't matter what you get it in. Unless you're going to be something very specific like a lawyer, which you have to get a graduate degree. My husband works for a tech company. He has a political science degree. He's never used a political science degree. And the tech company never asked him what his degree was in. Him having, I'm sure they looked at it, but him having a degree was what was important. And my dad, who I mentioned, owns a pharmaceutical company. He always says that what college shows to him is that someone can take the time to follow through on something. And to him as an employer, that's important. And I do understand that. But at the same time, if you're answering phones, I just don't see the correlation of importance for that. So I don't want to make this too long because I'm already at almost 7 minutes, and I've made the video a couple times and it was way too long. But I did find this discussion very, very interesting. I think great points were made on both sides, but I definitely lean towards the Charles Murray, Peter Thiel point of view for majority of the discussion. So look forward to discussing with you guys. Hope you have a great night. Bye.